Hey guys, welcome to Legally on America's Friday Night Gun News. Of course, I am, as always, Paul Glasgow. We're going to do as usual. I'm going to refresh my browser here to be able to follow you guys and read along as you guys come in and comment. And we'll do this slowly as we always do so that I can try to get some shout outs as you guys enter the room. And I see you jumping in now. Shark Chucker, you're the first one in. What's going on, man? Sarasota Shaners, good evening. Super Duper Paratrooper, how you doing again? Good to see you. Zach Briggs as well. Barry Moore, what's going on, guys? I got a lot of stuff to talk about, so I'm going to go through these as quickly as I can. And you guys are popping in. Hugh Annan, Kip Jones, Willie Dick, DB Cooper, Germo7899. Germo, I'm not sure if I've seen you in the room before. If you have been here, I apologize. But if you haven't, welcome. Roland Marshall. What's going on, Roland? Barry Moore, show us Tech 9. On Roland, Barry Moore, show us Tech 9. Richard Partello's in. Good to see you again, Richard. Okay, cool. Germo's new. Glad you could join us, man. Hopefully you can catch us. We're here almost every Friday night. I say almost because a lot of times it depends on whether or not there's a concert or something cool going on in town, or if I'm out of town. But we typically try to do it every single Friday night at the same time. So glad you could join us. My allergies are kind of wrecking me right now, and instead of taking medication, I'm drinking a beer. So if you guys have a beer, join in. This is my second one, so I got a long way to go if you guys have already been on the sauce a little bit. Milspec Grunt, good evening to you as well, my friend. Douglas, Steve, let's see, Krilich, Joe Randall, Scott Arias, Julian Cuevas, I guess that's how you pronounce the name. If I mispronounce your guy's name, I apologize. Sean K, what's up? Yeah, guys, let's see. Barry Moore says, is that a Henry behind you? Yes, that is a Henry. Right there is a Henry. I think we've talked about it on the show before. That's a Henry that my father-in-law gave to me. It's got all 5 branches of the military, United States, Marines, Navy, Army, Air Force, and Coast Guard on it. And of course, it's got the really cool flag on the stock itself. Really nice. The engraving on that thing is beautiful. I mean, you can't see it from here. I'll see if I can show it later on up close. But the engraving is incredible on it. Really, really nice. Let's see. Keith Gregory, Lauren Petty. Keith says, hey, go Tigers. Yeah, what a game tomorrow night. I don't think we've had a game of 2 top 3 teams in the nation this year yet. So this is probably one of the best ones. I take that back. Was Georgia and Alabama haven't played yet, have they? I don't think so. Or didn't play. Georgia's not number 2 anymore. So anyway, since LSU beat them when they were number 2. LSU has a chance because they're playing at home. LSU, man for man, everyone knows LSU is not as good as Alabama. And being a Louisiana boy, I know that. But LSU has not been as good as Alabama before, and they've beaten them. LSU is one of the few teams in the nation that kind of has Alabama's number if you catch them at the right time. Alabama should be playing, the whole team should be playing on Sundays right now. And I'm not trying to make the show about football. I'm just saying I really think some Alabama players probably get a little paycheck and they figured out how to do it. So I don't know. Alabama's good. I'm not knocking them. They're good. The best team in the nation. But, man, tomorrow night is a big game. Number 1 and number 3. They're playing at Tiger Stadium, Death Valley in Louisiana. That gives LSU a better chance. But the line, I saw that Alabama is still favored by 14.5. Wow, no respect, huh? Let's see. Yeah, Barry, it was the Henry was the one with the flag on the stock. Sean K says, no drinking tonight. Been clean 10 years plus carrying, but it's okay. I'll drive everyone home. Yeah, cool. I mean, seek out your designated drivers. I'm just walking downstairs and going down to the house below, so I'm good. And yeah, I definitely don't encourage any drinking and driving. There's too many people out there that don't drink. And actually, Uber and Lyft, that's nice. I love it. I use them all the time for this very reason. Let's see. Billy Wilder must have been watching some of the Gun Bully segments. Says too much Chick-fil-A sauce. That's the reason why your sinus is messed up. Probably so. Probably so. Eric Granick is in here. Rum and coffee. Nice, nice. Must be cold wherever you're at. Not cold enough down here for me to hit the rum, and definitely not coffee this late, but nevertheless, I like a little rum and coffee myself. Let's see. All right, let me get this. I'm trying to go through you guys' stuff as best I can, so just bear with me here. One's the one with the big clip on the bottom. I'm going to say magazine, assuming if you're talking about that one right there. This one where my finger is. This is, by the way, Germo 7899. That is a Fostech Origin 12 gauge shotgun. And that magazine on it is, I believe that is the 8-round magazine. There's a stack of them right next to it, you'll see. Good friends of ours up in Indiana make that shotgun. Great, great shotgun. I like anything Henry. Douglas says, do you like Henry or Marlin 1895? If Henry makes it, I like it. Henry makes awesome guns. The action on a Henry lever action gun is like no other. Nothing else comes close to it. The mechanics of it, it's so clean and so smooth and all that. I absolutely love them. Yeah, Hugh Annan says that I'm not backwards anymore. I don't even know why. I didn't change a setting on here. I didn't change it before. Before, all my videos were the right direction. Then all of a sudden they went backwards, and then all of a sudden they're back right again. I haven't changed a thing. So I even looked to find settings and I couldn't find anything. So whatever. I mean, it's right again. So, or right now, that's good. Yeah, that P08 or a Namba, that's a P08 above there. Let's see. James Crumb's in here. Hello from Ohio. Never did find anything about the lawsuit over the AR arm brace. Man, I got that from some really good, a really good source, and it's like somebody who knows from an attorney standpoint what was happening. I'll find that out. Let me make myself a note here. Let's see, Ohio AR brace lawsuit. I'm gonna try to research that, see if I can't find something on that. Let's see. Keith Dreger says LSU has their best defensive player suspended for the first half. Yep, that's nice. Unbelievable. Barrymore says, I love that shirt. Yeah, I do too. This is my new shirt. It's got the M1 Garand on it. And of course it says, get off my lawn. The old Clint Eastwood from, what was it, Gran Torino. What an awesome movie. So that was pretty cool. So it's one of my favorite new shirts. Kind of cool. The back of it, I don't know if you can see it, but it's got the 2A on it also. So yeah, one of my favorite. We'll have these for sale pretty soon. I'm really digging it. Let's see. Sean K says, a Louisiana boy, born in Lafayette. Very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, the refs are kind of under Saban's payroll. Yeah, you know, I think Florida, the SEC is so strong. As much as I hate the Gators, they did beat LSU, and you got to admit, LSU played terrible that night, and the Gators played the way they're supposed to play. And LSU should have beaten them, and I think you'll probably agree LSU is probably the better team, which is what gives me encouragement for tomorrow night. Clearly, Alabama's the better team than LSU, but LSU has a shot to win. You know, the SEC is so strong that I feel like you catch the right team on the wrong day, you can beat them. So, I mean, obviously, Florida proved that. So, kudos to Florida for what they did. But if you'll remember, Florida is the only team that beat LSU back when LSU won its national championship, its latest national championship. So I'd like to think that this might be one of those things. Man, if LSU beats Alabama, they'll probably lay an egg the next week. Because, I mean, what a game to come down off of. Milspec Grunt says, did y'all hear the military is giving up on the 5.56, going with the 6.8 across the board? I heard that, man. I got to see them actually commit to that, to be honest with you. I mean, I believe you because I've seen all the press on it also. But I got to see them actually commit to that before they actually go with it. That surprises me that they would ditch the 5.56 for the 6.8. We'll see. We will see. The military is notorious for saying they're going to do something and never doing it. I mean, in fact, they're notorious for making other companies spend a bunch of money to try to develop something so that they can go this new direction, and they go, we're not going that direction. So let's see what they do. Wow, El Cabong, hello hugs, Paraguay, South American. Man, if you're giving hugs in here, that's surprising me because there's not a whole lot of hugs that can get given in here. Lauren Petty, Texas with a big heart. Georgia versus Kentucky tomorrow. That's right. I forgot about that. So we basically have, not basically, we exactly have the two biggest games tomorrow in the SEC, Georgia and Kentucky, to pretty much decide the SEC East title, and LSU Alabama to pretty much decide the SEC West title. That's pretty much what's going to happen, right? So big game. I'd love to see Kentucky beat Georgia. No offense if you're a Georgia fan, just because Kentucky's having such a great season. But at the same time, Georgia really is too. It would actually be better for LSU if Georgia wins because LSU has already beaten Georgia. So that makes the strength of schedule a whole lot better in LSU's favor. So it's all, look, I pull for the SEC unless they're playing LSU. I think it's a great conference. Yeah, the Ohio gun owner won the case. That's right. DB Cooper straight tequila. Oh my God. Can you last a whole hour on that stuff? I know I couldn't. Not anymore. Do you have any 6 hours? Leroy Worsley says, yes, I do. I have. In fact, there should be at least one in the camera. There's one right there. That's a 6 hour. That's that X. Oh gosh, what was the name of that thing? I forget what they called that. It came out about 3 or 4 years ago. Really nice 5.56 rifle. I don't think I've ever fired that thing, to be honest with you. When I got it in with a whole bunch of other firearms, and I was doing videos on the other ones, and I don't think I ever had time to get to that one. So sitting up there, I don't think that's ever been fired. That's a 6 hour, right? Oh, we'll see if I can see it right there with the suppressor on it. That's a Sig Rattler right here. My finger is on the suppressor. That's a relatively new Sig Rattler in 300 blackout. I will be doing a review on that one with the that has the Acadian Arms Predator silencer on it. An amazing silencer, amazing company. You'll see when we go over that thing. You'll see there's SIGs all over in here. I mean, I see a couple of SIG, one SIG there and two over there. A SIG 551 over there that is a really cool, different kind of AR platform that SIG did. The SIG kind of missed it. I'll have to do a review on that gun. SIG made an AR platform 551 that is a really awesome design, but they screwed up. It's a 556, but they made proprietary magazines for it. It's very, very stupid. Why are you trying to corner the magazine market by putting out a gun that only takes a certain magazine? And that, to my knowledge, they've never made the rifle with a standard magazine in it, a GI magazine. So I don't know. I mean, but yeah, I have plenty of SIGs. I think SIG's a good company. People have their opinions about SIG. I like all guns, to be honest with you. Let's see. Yeah, Zach Briggs is in here. Says going to cool off soon. Thank God. Freedom Fighter Fleet's in here. Do you have a 1911? I have a bunch of 1911s. You'll look behind me. You'll see a few of them. I see at least one behind me. I see 1, 2, 3 behind me and a wall full of them over there. So yeah, I'm a big 1911 fan. I love 1911s. Great, 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 great gun. Let's see. Get back over here to, I'm trying to get y'all's comments and stuff like that before I get into the actual news. Excuse me. Oh gosh, where is it? I just passed it up. One of you guys had a question that I wanted to answer. Great. I lost it. Yeah, I lost it. Sorry. I wish more liberals would come into this room. I absolutely do. I wish more liberals would come in here, especially the stupid ones. Don't ban this person unless they get rude. Um, Lebendeiger Meinch, why you sell weapons? Question mark. War is not the way. War is not the way. All weapon must be molten. Well, Lebendeiger Meinch is clearly a dumbass, and not American, or at least anti-American. With that garbage English that you're speaking, I doubt that is your native tongue. So leave that idiot in here so he can see how beer drinking, gun toting Americans talk to one another when we have the beauty and the luxury of having a Second Amendment that protects our rights to own weapons and not to have to ask our master if we can have some protection. We can provide our own. So hang out for a little while, Liebendeiger, Meinch. Let's see. Barry Moore, do you have fan mail? I get hate mail, but I also get fan mail. Fan mail. I'm not comfortable using that term. I actually request mail all the time, email all the time, because I love responding. I like interacting, just like these Friday night visits with you guys. A lot of the YouTubers out there that do gun stuff, I don't think that they're quite as approachable. I don't know if they like to interact with their friends out there quite as much as I do. I enjoy it because it's like a hangout for me. So definitely, I get a big kick out of it. So yeah, I get a bunch of mail, bunch of email actually. Let's see. Leroy says, "Do you like alien gear inside waistband holsters?" I don't know. I've never worn one, and I've just seen them like at some of the big conferences and trade shows, but I've never worn one, so I really have no experience. And I'm definitely not one. Even if I look at something, if it has an unusual kind of weird appearance to it, I'm not one to bash it until I've had some hands-on experience with it, just because I've been wrong about that before. So I try not to comment too much on stuff that just looks kind of crazy. So let's see here. Lauren Petty says, someone mentioned the national reciprocity bill. What's going on with that? Did it fizzle out? Man, yeah, it's definitely not a thing. It's one of those things where every time we have an issue, some kind of something going on, something happens, and any kind of pro-gun legislation gets snuffed out. And that's what happened here. I forget which shooting it was, but it might have been the Parkland shooting. That occurred, and when that occurred, just any kind of pro-gun legislation went by the wayside. I'm pretty sure that's what it was, but yeah, it's kind of in a holding pattern right now, and which we'll get into here in a second. The election's coming up in a couple of days. That may have a little bit more to pro-gun legislation, definitely taking a back seat. I'm starting to really wonder about how much our Republican friends in Congress, I've said this before, I don't trust either party, but I'm starting to wonder how much our Republican friends are actually pro-Second Amendment, because it seems like whenever we have the full control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency, we do nothing pro-gun related. Nothing at all. So I'm starting to say to myself that maybe the two-party system is worse than I thought, because we sit here, we know that the Democrats are the worst of two evils, so we know we have to vote against them. But sometimes I wonder if the Democrats being so anti-gun is what's keeping the Republicans in existence also. Because if the Democrats didn't hate guns so much, some of us probably wouldn't even vote for the Republicans. We just vote for the Republicans because the Democrats are so damn anti-gun that we feel like we've got to vote for the people who are running against the rabidly anti-gun people. It's funny, because if the Democrats would just shut up about guns, some people, not most of us on here, because we're smart enough to know the Democrats lie, but some of us, or some of the conservatives or Republican voters, would probably either not vote. Seriously, they'd probably not even go to the polls, saying that I'm not going to vote for a Democrat, but I'm not voting for a Republican either because the Democrats aren't that much of a threat. I mean, it could happen. The Democrats are too stupid to do that because they feel like they have this base that they have to satisfy and be anti-gun, and I get it, but whatever. Oh, Yorn, I'm saying I think I'm saying your name right. Yorn F. Hello from Norway. I think the J is pronounced like a Y. I have a friend that's from over in that neck of the woods, and yours is his name, and it's spelled with a J also. So hopefully that you welcome. Thank you for joining into us with us, Yorn, if that's the way you pronounce your name. Let's see. Robert Bunton's in here. Hello to you as well. I'm going through y'all stuff fast, guys. I got a lot of stuff to go into. Yeah, I saw that. Warsaw Patriot says Montana wants to ban all guns in some certain area of Montana. That's insane. That's crazy. Some of the legislation that's going up, you start seeing some states are shy about putting up, or not just states, different areas, period, but states in general. Let's say this time of year when it's election time, states are having their own elections too. And some of these states are putting up some really wacko, crazy anti-gun laws because some of these guys in these states feel like they can get more votes if they try to prove to everybody how anti-gun they are. Down south you can't get away with that. Whenever you say when you actually expose yourself to being anti-gun, you get voted out. Nobody votes for you. But you start moving a little bit farther north, and you can actually get away with that. And it's amazing to me to see how much of this anti-gun legislation that gets proposed this time of year, whenever we're entering into the election season, they may not even mean to try to promote and push these anti-gun laws, but it's crazy the things that they promote to try to get that last-ditch effort of those anti-gun voters out there to vote for them. Unbelievable, the stuff that I've been seeing here lately. Let's see here. It looks like our anti-gun foreigner is gone now. I hadn't seen him in here. Wait, this is another one of my E-Man. This is another one of my little liberal buddies that likes to comment. I think E-Man is one of my closet fans who's because he says vote blue, or she, who knows with Democrats. I mean, he, she, you'll offend them if you call them anything. I think they're whatever they call themselves now. I don't know how you're supposed to identify from a pronoun standpoint Democrat these days. But E-Man, there's the one that says vote blue. That is a true blue Democrat that has been commenting on some of my videos lately. Good stuff, been polite about it. So, I don't mind having an idiotic liberal in here every now and then. I mean, it's nice to have. It's sometimes it's humorous. I mean, it's entertaining to have liberals in the conversation. I said idiotic. I mean, you've been polite up to now, which I haven't scrolled and seen all your comments yet. So we'll see. Sean K says, got to ask what your favorite carry gun would be. It depends on what day of the week it is. I actually carry different guns. I try to carry guns that have similar characteristics so that if I ever have to use it, I'm familiar with the mechanisms. I don't swap between 1911s and striker fired and revolvers and stuff like that. I want something I'm familiar with that is going to pretty much be the same way, that it's going to draw the same way. I carry all my holsters canned at the same angle and all that, so I don't have to reposition myself and figure something out, differently. But yeah, HK VP9SK, SIG P320, subcompact, Glock 26. Gosh, what else? Trying to think of what other guns I would carry. All in that vein. This time of year. Now I'm starting to. This time of year, I'll move more into a compact instead of the subcompacts because you can start wearing bulkier clothes. Let's see. I advise all true patriots and gun owners to vote here in Georgia. The liberal is a serious anti-gunner. Yes, Crazy Horse, you bring up something that's on my list of things to talk about tonight. And thank you, Crazy Horse, for bringing that up. The Georgia gubernatorial race. This crazy, whacked out, Michael Strahan looking nutbag chick you guys got running as a Democrat candidate over there in Georgia. She's almost as anti-gun as she is stupid. She's stupid, and she is being used by the Democratic Party because she's clearly a puppet. She's not smart enough to do anything on her own. She's really, really dumb. Stacey Abrams. And she's dumb, y'all. She's dumb. She's really stupid. She has not investigated any of the claims that she's made because most of her claims are wrong. But she has Everytown and Bloomberg's money behind her. Bloomberg, by the way, dumped in another $50 million into anti-gun candidates this week alone. Just this week. The man is dumping a lot of money in to fight to get people elected who are anti-gun. But let's see here. This is so funny. There's nothing like anti-gun Democrats that try to prove to you that they're not anti-gun. It's like they'll start their sentences by saying, I support the Second Amendment and Americans' right to own guns or whatever. It's funny how they start their stuff. Do you like Everytown supporting banning the AR-15? She mentions that she's not anti-gun. She expresses her support for criminalizing the private transfer of firearms for a mandatory 3-day waiting period. In other words, she wants to criminalize gifting guns, giving your son, your daughter a gun, handing one down. Wants you to have to pay for a background check for that. Does not want you to be able to sell one to a friend. Does not think AR-15s should be owned by civilians, poor little old civilians like us. Let's see. She mischaracterizes commonly owned semi-automatic firearms by stating, I do not believe that weapons of mass destruction, what a dumbass, like the AR-15 belong in civilian hands. Incredible. This is incredible that a human being, an adult human being, can say things. This is a person who is running for governor of a state, not governor of Rhode Island, some little speck on the wall, and not governor of some little, this is Georgia. That doesn't know what the definition. Why would you use the term weapons of mass destruction? The last time I heard the term weapons of mass destruction is when George Bush was talking about the weapons of mass destruction that Saddam Hussein had. He wasn't talking about Saddam Hussein having AR-15s. He was talking about him having nerve gas, mustard gas, things of that nature. Not AR-15s, and certainly not semi-automatic rifles, modern sporting rifles. So this wacko is over here. Now that she's calling weapons of mass destruction, so that's the next thing we have to look forward to. They used the name assault weapon. Now we're going to have to listen to them calling them weapons of mass destruction. Unbelievable how stupid this woman is. What a Michael Strahan looking self. What else did this stupid fool say? I want you guys to see this. Here we go. Abrams has the Abrams supported House Bill 731 would have defined several common models of firearms by name and semi-automatic rifles, including standard configuration AR-15s, handguns, and shotguns with certain features as assault weapons. The legislation she was trying to pass states that no person shall possess, distribute, transfer, or sell any assault weapon. The bill also defined large capacity magazines, which is just a regular capacity magazine, and the people who know, people who aren't stupid, as one that is capable of holding more than 10 rounds of ammunition, and prohibited possession of such magazines. Unbelievable. If you guys are in Georgia or you know anybody in Georgia, tell them not to vote and to vote against this stupid Stacey Abrams fool. This is one of the most ignorant fools that I've ever seen trying to run for public office. Unbelievable how stupid this woman is, or whatever. I mean, she's a Democrat. I don't know what I'm supposed to call her. Let's see. I'm trying to roll through y'all stuff again real quick. Let's see here. Y'all's stuff cracks me up. All right. I got to pick on my little liberal friend here. Some people don't understand the Constitution. And you are right, my little liberal friend, Eamon, or Iman, Politicians are puppets controlled by the money of companies. So are Democrats. When the Second Amendment, this is E-Man or Iman saying this, when the Second Amendment was created, there were no automatic assault weapons. Since that is not really a term, I'll have to ignore half of your statement because you have to come on here and be semi-educated. I don't mind helping educate you. When people come in here who are ignorant, if you ask stupid questions, I don't consider that a stupid question. But when you make stupid statements because you haven't researched your content, then I consider that a stupid statement. So you can ask a stupid question because no question is stupid. If you were to ask, is there a such thing as an automatic assault weapon? I would explain to you that no, that's a bull crap term. But you're using that statement. So because you're not asking me if that's right or not, which it's not, that's a stupid statement. So I got to pick on you there. But when you say when the Second Amendment was created, there were no automatic assault weapons. When the First Amendment was created, there was no internet. Don't come to me with your tired little memes. Don't read off your Facebook memes on my YouTube live stream because I will shut you down. I don't mean that I will boot you out of here because I want you in here, but I will drop a bomb on you that you don't want to be dropped on. So my little liberal friend, you can hang out, but don't come in here and read memes off on my YouTube channel. Don't do that. Let's see. What else do we have? Just checking out some of y'all's comments. Yeah, I see you guys are trying to... Yeah, and E-Man or whatever says, I love your channel, but I'm blue. Hey, I'm fine with that. I actually have some Democrats that follow my channel religiously, and they will private message me, and that's cool. I'm okay with that. You might be part of the wrong party here when you say I'm a boy, but there are only two genders. You clearly you're not following the lead of your party because your party thinks otherwise. But yeah, guys, I think that we've probably got to. I think I don't know if the Republicans look. Y'all know my feelings on this, and our little buddy here, E-Man. May not have heard this before, but she is going to have to listen to this now. I vote Republican because they're not Democrat, but I don't trust the Republican any more than I could trust a Democrat. I just know that the Democrat has chosen the side of being anti-gun, like I said earlier, and the Republican at least is not anti-gun as the Democrat. But I don't believe that the Republicans or hardcore pro-gun like most of us on this channel right here, barring our friend E-Man. So yeah, don't come in here, E-Man, thinking that you're going to bash Republicans and get your way, because many of us in here don't have much confidence in Republicans either. We're smart enough to understand that we just don't blindly follow a party, but you have to choose the lesser of two evils sometimes to keep that. Like Hillary Clinton, if Lucifer would have run for office, I would have cast my first vote for Satan himself to keep Hillary Clinton from being president of this fine country. What an evil. She is. There's only one thing more evil than Satan, and that's Hillary Clinton. I believe that in my heart, and I always will. I think that is a horrible, gutless, disgusting, despicable, horrible creature. My good friend Brent Flash is in here, and Brent asks, what do you think of the news that the military is getting away from 5.56 and going to a large round? We talked about that a little bit earlier, Brent. I don't think it's going to actually materialize. I'll be surprised if it actually happens. I think they've been very successful with the 5.56. To go to a 6.8, I just don't know what they plan to gain by that. I mean, ballistics is kind of interesting, and you guys know most of you guys know this. Ballistics is... depends on where you're standing when you're reading the ballistic chart as to whether or not the ballistics are better. You can take two totally different rounds and put them side by side and look at the ballistic coefficients of both of them, and you're going to find that one looks better than other based on whatever you're trying to use it for. I mean, I'm a big fan of the 308, but clearly there are better instances where the 5.56 is a better round than that whenever you're talking about battle. So I'd be surprised. It's like we were talking earlier, Brent. Um, the military is notorious for trying to get these companies to spend a bunch of money on research and development to try to develop these new guns and these new rounds and all these crazy new cool things that they can do, so the government can decide that in the end they really don't want to do anything. They don't want to change after all. So we might go through a 2 or 3 year process where the freaking government makes all these companies go spend a bunch of their own money researching this stuff. I mean, what better way to research things that do not have to spend any of your own money, and you get all these companies to do all the R&D for you, and then you realize at the end of it, yeah, I wasn't really interested in that 6.8 anyway. Let's stick with the 5.56. I think that's what's going to happen, to be honest with you. I really do. I believe that's what's going to happen big time. Let's see here. All right. I will have to make one request to my friend, my liberal friend, E-Man. Let me show you something. There's something on your keyboard right there. You see that? I don't know if you can see that. Mine says caps lock. You need to find that. Find that one on your keyboard and press it one time. If it's lit up like that, that means that your caps lock is stuck on and you're typing in all italics. And it sounds like you're yelling. Press it again, make the light go away, and then you can communicate with us. What I'm going to do is, if you don't undo your caps lock, what I'm going to do is I'm going to silence you and put you in timeout. Literally, I will ask one of our Griff's on here. Jay Griff's on here, and he's one of our admins. He will put you in timeout. Press that button or find yourself booted, because I can't stand reading all caps. I feel like I'm talking to a third grader when you do that. Let's see. So you know what you're going to have to do? Because I was about to read your comment, which is all in all caps. It's actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go in there right now, and if I can, I'm going to remove your comment completely. It's removed now. You cannot. Your long paragraph is gone now because I removed it because I refuse to read all caps. At least try to communicate in normal English. I don't like that. I mean, I don't speak in crayon, so don't talk to me in all caps. All right, let's see. I'm trying to read y'all stuff quick. I'm going to go through some of my stuff real quick. Okay, the election, of course. If any of you guys are in Louisiana, you may have seen some of the videos that I've put out. That are on the 3rd Congressional District candidates. I usually don't say, and I'm not going to tell you who I'm voting for, because I don't like to try to influence people unless I feel like they're voting for the wrong person. Do not vote for a Democrat. The Democrat, okay, there are, to my knowledge, 4 Democrats. One of them, Larry Rader, never took the election seriously. I heard his ignorant ass dropped out of the race. So you won't vote for him anyway. But don't vote for him if he's still on the ballot. Sometimes when you drop out too late, you're still on the ballot. Don't vote. Don't waste your vote. Who was the? There's 4 of them. Rob Anderson. Rob Anderson's a Democrat. I got to tell you, I met with Rob Anderson. Rob Anderson seems like a very nice guy. He is a Democrat. I interviewed him. I have actually his stuff is out there where you can read all of his platform and all that. And I think the guy is actually a good dude. I mean, obviously there's good Democrats out there. 2 of my best friends, actually, we grew up and they're Democrats. And to this day, they're still Democrat. But, so the Democrats can be good people. I'm not suggesting that. But, Rob Anderson is a good dude. I think he's a nice guy. He's not a, quote, gun guy, but I think he might be able to. So anyway, I mean, just look at this guy as being someone who might be a little bit confused, not understanding where he's more of a libertarian type guy than he is Democrat, but he's got some Democrat views too. I won't vote for him. If you're a hardcore Democrat and you feel like you have to vote along party lines, then vote for Rob if you're going to vote for anybody. Verone Thomas is one of the other Democrats. Verone's a little loco. Verone, I know some things about Verone that I'm not going to tell you. Um, but Verone really has a different alternative view on reality than what most people do. He believes in smart guns. Verone thinks that the way to end all school shootings is to make smart guns mandatory across the board for all Americans so that you have to get rid of all your guns like these and buy all new smart guns. I can imagine buying smart guns in all of these models right here and all of those models and all of those models. I can imagine having to replace all of my guns with smart guns. And his reason for thinking that that's going to cure school killings is that if you are anywhere near a school zone, those awesome gun zones, gun-free zones, that your gun would not work. Kind of like you know how you have the collars that go on the dogs so that they have the little invisible fence that they try to run past it to take a leak and they can't do it because it shocks them? It's kind of like that, where you have like a beacon, according to Verone, that would disable the gun and not allow it to shoot. My thing is, what a stupid answer, because you got to think things through sometimes. This is a guy who's wanting to run for public office. Sometimes you got to think a little bit farther along. Sometimes you can't just sit in a smoke-filled room with your homeboys and talk about things and think that that's a great idea. If you want to really represent a group of people that's not just like you, sometimes you got to think a little bit farther. And sometimes when people egg you on and like, yeah, that's a great idea, you ought to run for Congress. Sometimes you got to ignore those people because sometimes those people don't know what they're talking about. And sometimes they're wrong. Sometimes people will encourage you to do stupid things when you really shouldn't do those things. This is one of those times. Don't vote for Verone Thomas. Verone Thomas is very anti-gun, very, very anti-gun. Which brings me to one of the most dangerous Democrats that you do not want to vote for, and I say she's dangerous, is Mimi Methvin, because she's backed by the Democratic Party, and we know how dirty and corrupt they are. She's backed by all the big money of the DNC. This woman is not only anti-gun, she doesn't hide it. She's proud of her anti-gun stance. Let me explain something to you guys who are not from Louisiana, or more specifically, Southern Louisiana, which is where I'm from, where I'm sitting at right now. We are about as pro-gun as you can possibly be. You could almost cut the vein of somebody living in South Louisiana and a couple of 22 long rifles would fall out of their veins. You don't come down here and say anti-gun stuff and expect to represent anyone down here. The anti-gun wackos are such a small, tiny percentage of people that actually live in this area that they don't even talk about being anti-gun because they know it's not acceptable down here. Now, we respect the fact that they're a little loco and a little wacko and they want to be anti-gun. But we know as well as I do, they're no real threat. Mimi Methvin is no threat to win this election. It's going to be a runoff. She's no threat to win it, but she is a threat because of all the wacko Democrats out here that might vote for her. She is a threat to win that. I would like to suggest that if any of you guys out there or anyone that might watch this, if you are a Democrat in Louisiana and you cannot see yourself voting against all of these wacko Democrats, then vote for Rob Anderson, because he's the only one that has any real sense. Mimi Methvin will take your guns away. Mimi Methvin does not want you having an AR-15. She's stupid because she thinks it's an assault weapon, just like a lot of the other stupid Democrats. But she makes it very plain and very clear that she thinks you, an honest, law-abiding citizen who has done nothing wrong, who is not a felon, who has never committed a crime, but because of some wacko little fantasy that she has that you might go shoot a school or something up because you're a white man with a AR-15. I say white man because that seems to be the devil these days, according to Don Lemon. Let's just say you're a person with an AR-15. Because you have that AR-15, that means that you very possibly can go shoot a school up just because. This is a lady who passes judgment. Listen to this. She passes judgment on you and me just because we have AR-15s. She assumes that because we have them, we might go shoot a school up. Guys, you cannot vote for this wicked lady. You cannot vote for her. She thinks that just because you have a particular type of gun that you're susceptible for shooting a school or anybody else up, so that you should not have the right to own those. Look, I'm not a criminal. I'm never going to be a criminal. So why should you ban me from owning anything? I should have the right to own anything I want to. But you have this weird little fantasy that I'm going to do something just because I happen to own a particular type of gun. And trust me, just like their, quote, assault weapons ban back in the 90s, Bill Clinton's deal, they didn't take guns from you. There's over 8 million AR-15 style weapons out there on the market in the United States that have been sold. You're not going to confiscate them because, and I'm not saying I would do this, so please, FBI, don't circle my house in a black helicopter. But if you try to confiscate AR-15 style weapons, there will be bloodshed across the country because there's people in these backwoods out there who will not tolerate you driving down their dirt road to come knock their door down and take their AR-15s from them. They're not going to tolerate that. So local law enforcement will never, they would never enforce a law like that as far as confiscation. Again, I'm not saying I would do that. Please understand. I have very good friends in law enforcement and I would listen to them. But it would not be a pretty sight if they tried somehow to take those from you. So my point is, they're never going to take AR-15s, just like they didn't take them back in the 90s when Bill Clinton passed that law. So if they try to pass a rule like that or a law like that now to ban future sale of AR-15s, there's 8 million of them out there. I'm looking right now. I can count 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Where I'm standing, I count 40 of them. 40 AR-15 style weapons. So what that does is it creates a huge black market for AR-15 style weapons. Guys, my point is you got to keep these Democrats out of office. Keep them out of office because I promise you, come Tuesday, if the Democrats win Wednesday morning, Nancy Pelosi will be the Speaker of the House. And she has made it definitely no secret that she seeks to take AR-15s away from all of us. We got to remember that. I'm not getting paid to tell you this. I'm just being as clear as I can that we cannot let this crazy wacko anti-gun left propose all these bills because I've said it before. And I'm going to say it now. My little buddy in here, my little liberal friend that's in here, I see him commenting, but I haven't had a chance to read his or her comments. I'm going to tell you this, and listen up, little fella or little girl, whoever you are, whatever you are. I want you to hear this. You need to hear my feelings on Donald Trump. I support Donald Trump, who has given us this awesome kick-ass economy. He's done a lot for this country, and he's doing a lot for this country. But I truly believe that Donald Trump will do whatever the majority of people wants him to do. I think he will do whatever the majority of people says, hey, we like this or we want that. If there's enough people in this country that Donald Trump can listen to, and all of a sudden he thinks that maybe, oh, well, really the majority of the people might not want AR-15s. Maybe the majority of the country feels like we shouldn't have AR-15s. Do not put it past Donald Trump, even though he has full veto power, and that crazy whacked out hag, Nancy Pelosi, can put forth bills that get passed on and make it to Donald Trump's desk. Don't think for 1 minute that your pro-gun president right now, who says he's pro-gun, if he thinks for 1 minute that he can make a bunch of people happy, the majority of people happy, and pump their fists and go, yay, Donald Trump is so great, that he would not vote for and not veto that bill that the Democrats passed across his desk. That's what's scary to me. We knew Barack Obama was anti-gun, so we knew that whatever came to his desk, you knew what he was going to do. You knew George Bush was pro-gun, so you knew if something came to, if an anti-gun bill came to George's desk, George would veto it. If a pro-gun bill came, he would have gone along with it. We don't know if Donald Trump will stick with us on the pro-gun stuff. And I'm not bashing Donald Trump. I'm just giving you my feelings. I feel like that's how he is. I feel like he is a people pleaser. And I think he wants to satisfy the majority of people, which is awesome, because as long as the majority of people think a normal way, which most conservatives are way more normal than these wacko, stupid liberals that think all this wacko stuff. I mean, the most crazy thing to me still, and I'm not trying to make this an abortion show, but liberals want to kill as many babies as they can and allow all these babies to get killed with abortions. But yet anytime there's a child that's videoed on this stupid caravan coming up from Honduras, they want to video that. They care about the babies in somebody else's country, but they don't care about the ones here. That's kind of whacked out. That's a little cuckoo. Something is wrong with somebody who feels like there's more value to a foreign baby than there is to an American baby. We're Americans, and look, we're supposed to want for what's best for our own. I mean, we really are. We're not supposed to want what's best for everybody else. Let's take care of ourselves here first, all right? So that's my point, guys. Do not leave it up to Trump to support our pro-gun tactics that we want or trying to push through here. We have got to make absolutely sure that we keep the Democrats out so nothing ever gets to Trump's desk in the first place. And look, do not trust the Republicans, because if the Democrats gain power, even if the Republicans hold the Senate, do not trust those Republicans. The Republicans have turned on us before for pro-gun stuff. Don't think that just because they have an R behind their name that they're pro-gun. They can say what they want on the campaign trail. But do not think for 1 minute that if the Republicans are given a bill that ends up passing, making its way through the Senate, that they wouldn't sit here and do the same thing and say, well, that bill sounds okay. It's not too harmful, and let it make its way through. Be careful, guys. Again, like I told you earlier, I've not sold my soul to the Republican Party. I only vote for them to keep some of these wacko Democrats out of office. Anyway, we have that election coming up Tuesday. Man, look, hey, vote with your heart, but vote with your head. Vote with your head. Think about it. Think about what we've got coming up. You know, I think about this stuff all the time. And I'm gonna try to be real with you guys right now. And this is for my little liberal friend that's in here right now also. If gun laws, how can I say this? The Democrats want gun control laws enacted across the board. That's what they want. I think they know that gun laws are not going to stop mass killings, but they're using mass killings. They can sensationalize a mass killing to try to ban guns. They hate guns so much. I know Democrats say stupid things, but not all Democrats are stupid. Many times these Democrats know what they're saying, and they know it's not right, and they know it sounds stupid. But if they can just get some of their stupid Democrat voters to follow them, that's all they care about. Because they can convince the idiots out there that only turn on their television to learn how to think. They're group thinkers. They're followers. Not many of them are leaders. So if they can convince them of all these things, it's awesome. They can convince these stupid Democrat voters that, hey, a gun law will stop school shootings. I mean, obviously they've convinced a lot of them of that already, right? Because there's a lot of stupid Democrats that think that if you ban guns, that somehow or another school shootings will stop. They don't understand that there's a brain, there's a heart behind that trigger that's pulling the trigger. But what I'm trying to say is, if gun laws are all that we rely on to stop mass killings will never stop. Because we know, you and I, the real thinkers, the free thinkers out there, we know that the guns got nothing to do with the actual crime. So the Democrats are admitting that they're not really trying to stop mass killings, because all they're trying to do is pass gun laws. Well, that tells me they've given up on any real chance to stop these mass killings. Because if they're not trying to do any kind of research to find out why these young people and why these young adults who grow on to be adults, why these people want to kill people in the first place, then it tells me they've given up on finding the root cause, the actual core of the problem, the actual thing that's happening. They know that the gun is not the problem. But because they focus on the gun tells me that they've totally ignored, and they are totally ignoring the actual root cause. So they've given up on it. And they've admitted publicly that they've given up on it. So it's sad to know that the Democrats care that little for human life, because they're not trying to find out what the real problem is. They really don't care. All they want to do is ban a gun, ban a gun, ban a gun, and restrict your gun laws as much as they can, because they're not really trying to stop mass killings. Heck, if you take AR-15s away, the next gun in line is going to be the next one. Semi-automatic weapons is what they're ultimately going after anyway. So anyway, it's a natural move for the Democrats to take one gun and move to the next, move to the next, move to the next. You want to know how they say the phrase gun violence. Or at least I try not to use the phrase gun violence, because it's just violence. It's violence. Violence is violence. Doesn't matter what your tool is that you're using, it's violence. But let's use the term gun violence like the Democrats try to use, okay? I know how to end all gun violence. You want to know how? If you can find a way to snap your fingers and make every single gun disappear, then with no guns available, they will use knives, hammers, baseball bats, and things like that to kill people. But guess what? There's no more gun violence. Because as long as there is no more gun in existence, and I mean all of them, because you got to take cops' guns away, the military's guns, you got to figure out a way to snap your fingers and make every single firearm in the world, on the planet Earth, disappear just like that and go away. Then it's not possible. Oh, and you have to stop anyone from being able to make any also. Because once you do that and make that gun actually not be in existence anymore, then gun violence can't exist. But as long as people are on this planet, they're going to kill people. So what you're basically saying is, I would rather you use a different tool to kill your victims. That's what the Democrats are saying. They're saying, look, we're okay with the deaths. We're okay with the murders. We just rather you not use a gun. It's pathetic. It's pathetic, man. We're getting close on time. I'm going to roll through y'all's comments here. Like I've said before, if y'all want to, it's easier for me if you do the @Legally Armed America so that I can see, that you're calling me out on something. That's just a little bit easier for me to read that. So I'm going to go through and read some of y'all's stuff. Matt Flat Earth, SK, let me get this right again. Matt Flat Earth Ski says, awesome background, man. Thank you very much. Let's see. My little liberal friend E-Man says, okay, I just want your opinion on the UK and Australia having literally no gun problems. No, they don't have gun problems anymore. They still have gun problems. You just don't know about them. You don't hear about them. They have murders. Their murders are still there. Again, like I said, you have to make things disappear. Nobody is bragging in Australia trying to say that. Look, let me put it to you this way. Do you see caravans going to Australia? No, you don't. Because people aren't flooding to try to get into Australia. But we got these stupid caravans trying to get here. We're still the greatest country in the world with our guns. Australia is a dump that nobody's trying to get into, and they're still killing people. Go do your research on the burglaries over there and the rapes and the home invasions over there, because their citizens cannot afford, or they can't defend themselves with a legally purchased firearm. All these law-abiding citizens can now no longer defend themselves with legally purchased firearms because now they don't have them and the criminals have them. Do your research, son. Let's see here. I'm just going to read some of y'all's comments here. Oh, I might have just said all that for nothing. It looks like our little friend E-Man left. I'll be back. I need to do some stuff. Okay, go do your stuff. Warsaw Patriot says, in Illinois, we're trying, it's scrolling on me. We're trying our damn best to stop the bullshit like what happened in Deerfield, Illinois. Total illegal bill to, I know, it's infringing on people's rights, man. Archangel says, time to push the liberals out of office. Absolutely. The new, now the world is looking forward, towards Brazil with their new president and his pro-gun stance. The media is absolutely hating the fact that Brazil pretty much elected somebody very much like Donald Trump. They absolutely hate it. Let's see. Misfit Minuteman says, where can I get that shirt? Guys, I try to tell y'all, you got to email Chad. Chad works with me on all this stuff, and he's not been updating our site. 2avault.com. 2avault.com is our site where we sell stuff. We've got about 15 t-shirts and some of our coolest t-shirts that are not on that site. Email Chad. Email Chad, at legallyarmedamerica.com, and say, where are the damn t-shirts? So email him, Chad at legallyarmedamerica.com, and ask him where the freaking t-shirts are. We got a bunch of them that aren't on there, and some very cool ones that are not on there. Let's see. Mr. F&H says, hey, Paul, what's your opinion on Carolina work boots? I do not wear them, and I have never worn them. In all honesty, guys, I'll tell you a very quick story. I wear Ariat work boots, and I freaking wear them to church. I wear them on Sunday. It's the most comfortable boot I've ever worn in my life. You can get a pair for $150 to $200, and they last me walk around in mud and things like that a year or so. I feel like I get my money's worth out of them. The soles don't fall off of them. Man, I wore them for about a year or so, and then I bought another pair of boots that looked just like them, cost the same amount of money, made the same way, and my hip started bothering me. I'm turning into an old man, of course. I wore those boots for about 2 or 3 weeks, and I talked to an orthopedic surgeon who's a friend of mine. Told him I was having problems with my hip, and he said, have you changed your shoes lately? I said, yeah, but I'm wearing boots, same as I always have. He goes, different brand? I said, yeah. He said, go put your old boots back on and see if that pain in your hip goes away. So I thought he was full of crap until I did exactly that. Within a day, the pain in my hip went away. My body was trying to walk a different way with a different type of boots on. I'll never do that again. I will always wear Ariat boots. Always. I love their boots. They're comfortable. I can walk in them all day long. They don't give me boots, and they don't pay me, so I'm not trying to advertise for them here. But yeah, I love them. Let's see. Roger Kaiser says, how close are you to Hammond, Louisiana? Just bought some scopes out of Hammond. I'm a good little ways from Hammond. Hammond's on the other side of the state. We're on the west side of the state. Hammond's on the east side. Jacob Galvin says, what do you think about the Libertarian Party, also NRA or Gun Owners of America? Libertarian Party, I don't think is pro-gun enough. I actually had a Libertarian Party candidate that I did some questionnaires on for the 3rd Congressional District down here in Louisiana tell me that I was, or thinking that I was wrong about wanting to fortify our schools because he didn't want, libertarians get too much into the feelings, that he didn't want our country, our kids in our country to feel like they were in a prison because there were either bars on the window or that we had fortified our schools to keep killers out. I know whenever I was in school, I never once would have thought that I was in prison, even if there were bars on the windows. You know why? Because I'm not a prisoner. And I know I'm not a prisoner. I've done nothing to be locked up. I'm just in school. Heck, we all thought school was a freaking prison anyway. Who cares if they'd have put bars on the windows? It have felt the same to me. I remember looking out the window thinking I was in freaking prison and the window was wide open. I could have climbed out of it. The bars have nothing to do with it. That's to keep people out, not to keep you in. So libertarians have some really funny ways of looking at things. I want my kid to be safe. I don't want my kid to feel good or to be happy because he has clouds and butterflies and flowers on the walls. If my kid has to look at a set of bars on the window every day, but know in his heart that he's safe and not going to get shot by some wacko Democrat that walks in the door and wants to shoot people up, that's what I want my son to feel. I don't want him to feel good about his surroundings. I want him to feel safe within his surroundings. That's how I feel about libertarians. Now, about the NRA or Gun Owners of America, I refuse to get into this argument about pitting one pro-gun organization against another. I understand the NRA has done some things that have not been exactly pro-gun over the year. So I'm not like some of these other YouTubers out there that are my way or the highway. I feel like they're all doing a little bit of good. I would rather some of these gun companies or these gun organizations be somewhat pro-gun and at least be fighting some of our fight than be fighting against us. And I don't feel like they're directly fighting against us. Yes, I understand some of the things that the NRA has done, but I'm a member of both. I'm a member of the NRA. I'm actually a member of three. The National Association of Gun Rights, I'm a member of them. I'm a member of the National Rifle Association, and a member of Gun Owners of America. I'm actually a member of all three of those. My thing is, I feel like we need as many people in our corner as we can, and I'm okay with that. So if you have to only pick one, pick one. I'm not going to tell you which one to pick, but I do feel like there's a lot of good organizations out there that are trying to help us out. And, I'm not trying to pick on or put any of them out of business, to be honest with you. Let's see. Warsaw Patriot says, thoughts on joining militia if shit hits the fan. Man, I don't know. I mean, if shit hits the fan, I think we can all agree that we've probably got, buddies and family members and all that you'll form your own unofficial, militia anyway, right? I mean, you really would. I mean, you're going to call the people you trust and have their back. Let's see. Okay. Willie Dick says, asked earlier about the position I carry my weapon. Be honest with you, it depends on which firearm I'm carrying. I usually carry it about 4 o'clock. But there are times when I'll carry at 3, depending on what I'm wearing. But I almost always carry like that. Now, if I go to, I don't mind telling y'all, I look at gun laws and gun rules totally different. And I've said this before on here, that if it's a law, I'm not going to break it, because I don't want to lose my rights. I don't want to lose my right to carry legally, and I want to lose my rights at all in any kind of way with my guns. If it's a rule, I could care less about it, because you know what? If it's a rule, if somebody says no guns allowed, guess who's carrying a gun inside? If it's not a law, if it's not a bank, a school, or some place that has a federal law or a state law that prohibits it, if it's just your own rule of your business, guess who's carrying a gun in your business? Me. If you somehow know I have a gun, for one thing, I'm concealed carrying, so you shouldn't know. If you somehow or another see me printing for some reason and you ask me to leave, I'm going to leave. I'm not one of these belligerent guys that's going to pull my phone out and start videotaping you and fight as the cops handcuff me and all that. I will politely leave, because that's what kind of gun owner I am. I'm not going to shop in your place again. But my thing is, you will not find me breaking laws. I'm not going to do that. So I will carry sometimes appendix carry, depending on where I'm going. If I think that I have to bend over or something like that, like, I don't know. Let's say we go to a place where there's more physical activities or something like that, where I'm going to be bending over with my son or whatever. Well, I will appendix carry at that point. I'll carry a different type of gun, because a mid-sized gun or certainly a full-size gun is just not comfortable to me appendix carrying. So I actually have to change the type of gun. But I refuse to go into any of these places and not have a gun on me. So if you see me and I'm not in my pajamas, I'm carrying a gun, unless of course I'm in a bank. Hopefully I'm not in a jail or a school, something like that. Let's see here. Warsaw Patriot says, what creates shootings? 3 things: the news media creating copycats who watch TV to do shootings, failure of the FBI and our police department, and last, people who shouldn't have. And then it stops. So sorry, I didn't catch the rest of that. Why haven't we seen a desk pop yet? No desk pops here, buddy. All right, guys, I got to shut it down. It's 8:09. As always, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. We had a good, really active tonight. You guys were very, very active. I hate that we kind of ran our liberal friend off, because you know what? Even though liberals are wacko, it's entertaining to me. As long as they're not belligerent and typing in all caps, it's which if you notice, they stopped typing in all caps. But, sometimes they're actually fun. So, I don't mind keeping them around. I hate that the girl ran off. Yeah, man, go LSU. I got to get out of here. I'm going to run downstairs. You guys have a good evening. If you're drinking a beer, don't drive. Get a friend to drive. Go have fun tonight. Be safe about it. I'm not going anywhere. It's only my second beer anyway. So, but I'm gonna go drink a couple more downstairs. So you guys have a good evening. Again, be safe. Have a good weekend and be safe. Enjoy the football games tomorrow. Again, we've got Georgia and Kentucky playing for the SEC East title tomorrow in early November. And we have LSU and Alabama playing for the SEC West title tomorrow in early November. So what a great day to watch a little football tomorrow. So have some fun, guys. Be safe. Tell your family members I said hi, and thank you for hanging out with us for another hour on a Friday night. We will definitely see you guys next Friday night. I wish to see you guys here. So please, guys, don't do anything stupid. Be safe at the range. Keep your muzzle pointed down range, and we will see you guys next week. Thanks, guys.